All right, time for another monument sign here. This is going to be for the Contour Dermatology. Kind of a big boy, 150 inches overall. It's going to be basically one box stacked on another, but nothing too challenging. Kind of a mashup, collab, remix of a lot of other signs that we do. So just a few things I want to point out, different steps. Make sure you don't get caught out. So I just want to kind of go over how things go together, but shouldn't be anything too tricky for you guys. So let's get after it. Let's do the lay of the land. I kind of got it broken up into, you got this main bottom box, kind of the big boy. It's the main part. You'll have your jigs and frame pieces there. There's the second box. I call it box 2. That's the smaller back box frame. And then you have the full face box frame. So you got jigs and, that's where the pushies and stuff will go. I got all the skins on one. You got the skins for the main bottom box. You got the main face here with the studs, pushies. Back removable skins, top and bottom removable skins, and side permanent ear skins. Got a little power box party here. Basically, it's just a switch box and just like a rain cover here. Look out for those pieces. We've got 2 Mjolnirs, two mounting plates, and then it's got some lift points. Look out for those. We'll go over those. We'll do 063 inserts like we do. 063 whites. 1/2-inch pushies. Make sure we get those to the first shop. And we got our backers as we do. So like I say, nothing too crazy. Let's just look at the profile view here. We're going to basically have a 6-inch wide main box that'll have the face on it. You'll have that, what I call the number 2 box, or the second box will be the other 6-inch part here. Overall, we got 12 inches-ish with skins and whatnot. And then we'll have just the main bottom box here for the main structure and whatnot. So up at the top is where we start, main bottom box. Like I said, what you want to do is probably just go ahead and build this frame. And then I think you can go ahead and skin it as well. There's really nothing that's happening in here other than, make sure you put your inserts through, you slide cut list. We've got 1.5 by 3 for lift points. If you take a full stick, 240, slice it in half, plus or minus, you should be fine for the 2 sticks there. And then the 58 will go in the number 2 box up here for the lift point. But you go ahead and slide the 2 120s through. Should be good there. You will have temporary jigs because the Mjolnirs will be right here. These other jigs I did a slide through, like we do there. It's kind of nice and strong, so you're welding it from the inside. It's kind of cool. But because the Mjolnirs are right there, I have this seam kind of doubled up. It's kind of wide, so that way you have plenty of place to towards the faces. So the faces have that nice big spot right there for you. But because that conflicts with where the Mjolnir goes, we have some temporary jiggies just for the outside only. So look for 4 of these. Use those to line these up. I went ahead and gave you some big flags here so you can put some good welds right there to make sure that this is nice and strong. And then you go ahead and slide this through. And then your lift points, I went ahead and made them universal for where they go. So you basically have a blank typical. That's your first one. Seam will be here. And then you'll have lift. Lift goes here and here. And then you'll have 2 more blank typicals. So you have 4 blank typicals. And then you have your 2 lifts. They can go either way. And then you can see where that 1/4-inch plate comes in. I have some 193s for you to line them up. You can go ahead and tack it to that insert there, or the frame piece there, slide that through, get it all burnt up nice. And I think once you get this all built, like I say, we have go ahead and just rivet these together, and I have 1 piece jiggies across there to make that nice and strong, so you don't have to weld, you don't have to lords anything. And then I think once you get this box done, I think you can go ahead and skin it. You have a front skin, and make sure it goes to the top. That way you'll have, these will be your access doors for power to bring in. And then you'll have a back that's completely sealed up. So you'll just go ahead and make this box, get it all done. It's probably going to be a 2-man job for your lords because these are bigger pieces. This is 83. You're just going to be fighting the warm weather and stuff. So go ahead and do a buddy system on that. And go ahead and look for all the jiggies for this one are similar to the box 2. They're very similar here, but they have different layouts for the 165s, so don't get it twisted. So look for notches. All the little notches here will be for your big box, for your big main bottom box there. So when you're done, you should have this all skinned up, and you should have 2 forks basically sticking out ready to go to receive this whole upper assembly. So I think that's it for that. Once you get the bottom box done, let's get onto the upper assembly. Excuse me. The upper assembly is going to be kind of similar to what we've done before. You're just going to create a back frame. This is box 2. This guy's to the back. It's the smaller one. This is just going to be pure frame. There isn't any skin that gets permanently attached to it. Well, other than the side ears, but that doesn't really count. So you can just build this frame. It is asymmetrical. So there is a facing front, and then there's a back facing. So the back facing has provisions for mounting the skins. So you have all the whole skins on the back. The back side, the power will face to the back, right? So you want to make sure you get all this stuff with the proper facing forward, facing back, that kind of thing. So it is asymmetrical. Just look for face and forward. You got bottom. Everything that has to do with box 2, this smaller 6-inch box here, all has a number 2 on it. So you got a number 2 there, you got a number 2. So everything with a 2, look for that, and that'll be for box 2. Also, all the jiggies are going to have 2 on them. And the jigs themselves are not asymmetrical. You can put them front to back. That's fine. Front to back, side to side, and all that. Also, box 2 gets the alignment tabs. So you're going to slide these in the slots, and you're going to go ahead and tack them. You know, I got alignments here, but you can go ahead and tack them in place. And those are going to give you tongues to align when it comes time to do the major big face. It'll line up for you there, and there, and it'll just make it easier, make sure everything's dialed in nice when you go to put the main face on, the main frame. So go ahead and get this guy built. You'll slide this through here, boom, get that tacked in. Leave this clear on this side. Do not tack on the outside here, because when you go to slide this on, it's going to receive right here these forks. So right here, should theoretically slot right in. So make sure that you don't weld on that side. You can tack it here, and you can tack it like here. You know, you can tack it there. You can tack it here. You can tack it on the inside here, but keep this clean. That's a no-fly. That way, when you slide them in, it'll receive it. Also, you got a C channel that goes to the back. So you see that right there. That's for the number 2 C channel. That'll be for the face, for the skins on the back side, because I went ahead and split the skins. Otherwise, this would have been one big old giant piece of 107. So anytime you had to service it, we'd have to take the whole thing off. That'd be kind of a pain in the butt. So I have it broken apart, but in order to receive that, we have a one side towards the back C channel. Look out for that. Otherwise, there's no C channel to the face. Don't worry about that. I have full access to the bottom, and then you'll see where the dog bones are for this, on this one only. The dog bones will slide in through. When we get to that point, getting a little ahead, I went ahead and made sure that these braces are actually an 1/8 inch over. So I did you guys a solid. So when you go to slide this big top box on and slide it down and do the final mount to the bottom, this whole assembly, you should have good clearance. I don't think it will be necessary for you to have to bridge that gap. If you feel like you do, maybe you can slide in a piece of 1/8 inch or something and then tack it. But I think if you burn this really well, and then if you go ahead and burn it, you know, along the bottom here, I think this should be fine for lifting, because then you're also going to just nail it down, you know, along the top here. You're going to self-tap it. And then also you're going to self-tap it across the front too. So I think we'll be fine. So a little ahead of ourselves though. So go ahead and make this, go ahead and make these tabs stick out towards the face. These shoot out to the front. You can go ahead and put the power stuff in if you want, or you could do it after, you know, either way, but you're going to go ahead and bend up the power stuff. This is just a little lopsided birdhouse. You can see where it kind of kicks over to one side here, kind of a funky hairdo. And then it kicks out to the back as well to cover the wires coming out. So it's just going to be where the switch lives, and the cavity will be to the, you know, to the front here. That way, when they put the skin on, you know, it'll make the little cavity for the switch. And then the power supply itself. So you're just going to make this hat. You're going to put it there and then just rivet it from this side, and that'll be like a rain hat. You'll put your Tetra GE Power Max there, power supply, And then you'll see where you'll come in from this side. I have clearance holes here and here that will clearance the rivets that hold this thing together. So you can see where that's where the clearance holes are. So you'll have 4 rivet holes here that match up with this plate. That way you just rivet the little power box right there. And that way, you know, the whole assembly lives here, and then we'll run power down. So anyway, so you can choose to do that before or after you want to assemble this box, whatever. So get this all burnt up, get it good, and then go ahead and assemble the main face frame. So so this, I just have it mimics. This is where the number 2 box is going to sit. You can see how much shorter it is. And then the main face here drops down. That gives us our notch there. So, so what you're going to do is build this frame, and it's the same thing. This frame is asymmetrical. You have a face, you have a left, you have a right. So make sure everything lines up. Make sure your face is to the front. And then you can see where it's got slots for the tabs that will match up with that back frame. So once you get this welded up, so this one is asymmetrical, same thing, where you're going to have C channels to the back. Now the C channels are what is going to hold the 063 white in place. So you'll have, so this whole so from this vertical and this frame piece, which are these two, these are the full 6-inch depth. And then you're going to have one big giant cavity right here that's going to have, it's not going to have any bracing to the face, because as usual, we have a giant, push through thing that's kind of compromising our whole structure. So this whole thing's going to be empty, except for on the back, you're going to have C channels. So C channels will go to the back. And then once you get this frame built and you get the C channels in, then you're going to have these little covers, and you're going to go ahead and rivet those covers to the front of the C channels. And then you can see where the red is there. Then that gives a spot for where the whites are going to land. So you can see up here. So you can imagine that's where the red is. So across here, you'll see where this white will line up against these holes here. And then on the back side, you'll be able to attach the white from the back side. So that's what I got here. You'll have 165s that are meant to have number 10s coming from the back. So the upper part of the whites, you'll actually attach through the number 2 box. You'll have access in here with the back off. And then the little Contour Cosmetics, the little guy down here, he will actually slide in from the bottom and then attach to these boys right here. So you will need like an angle impact or something. And that's where you'll have to just come in from the bottom here and then attach it to the C channels there. So you can see right here where this is the C channels from the top view. So you'll have that C channel. So you'll have these 6 C channels, and then you'll have the covers that you rivet on. And then that's what you attach the white to. So you can see right there, you'll have to reach in, you'll number 10 those from the front. And then when you slide these in, you'll have access to the back. So I have clearance holes where you can put a socket through, and then you can go ahead and nail it down in the slotted there. So this is where the white attaches from the back with the clearance holes. And then you have your, this is where the bottom one attaches there. So go ahead and get that all welded up, get those riveted in place, and then you should be good to go. Now do not put this on yet. This is going to be one of the last things you do. Don't put that on. But once you have this frame done, all complete, and you have the number 2 box frame done, then go ahead and mate them together right here. Now you can choose to put a little Lords if you want. I'm confident that by the time you line up these tab things here and slot it in, and then you work your way around, you can see in the jigs that right here, like this will be the spots where you self-tap number 10, those gray screws. You'll come right through, it'll go through the jigs, and you'll go ahead and go through the front of this one. So you'll go through the front of this one into the smaller number 2 box, come in from this direction. So you can see where all these magenta circles are. That's going to be your nail down points. So you've got all here, 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 here. All of these are nail down points all the way across the bottom and then up the side here again. So that will be how you attach the number 2 box to the main the main face frame. And then once that's brought together like that, you're good to go. You can even, if you want, you can even, these little bit of tabs that stick in, if you want to tack those, that's up to you. Once you have that in there, and it's kind of poking through, you can reach in from the face frame and maybe tack those to the face frame. You'll be able to see what's up, but I'm confident it'll probably be enough for you guys. So once this is all one piece and you're ready to go, then you're going to go back up to here, grab this big boy, and then you're going to have, like these things poking up through, right? So at that point, you can lift what's green here. You can lift that whole frame assembly, slide it down, and then this is where, again, I said, if you want to do some lords, you can put some lords on the top of the box there and along there, and then you slide it in, and then you can see where you'll have access to frap gray screws all the way down here, your self tappers. So you'll self tap it along there, the number 2 box to the top of this. And then you'll see where on the bottoms of all of the C channels here, I'm giving you these vertical rovels. These will correspond to the skin on the front here. So you can see where these rovels match up on the skin. So you'll be able to nail down the front part of this all the way along. And then, like I said, the jiggies and everything are asymmetrical. So make sure that the jigs for the face frame here, you can see where they're asymmetrical. This is the backside jig and the front side's out of the way. So you can see where you'll be able to nail down this whole face frame all the way along to the big box. So make sure you have access to that. That's why you're not putting that face on yet. It's the last thing you do. So, and so then go ahead and get this assembly nailed down to the main bottom box. Once that's in there, then go ahead and do your welds and weld the lift point in, once all this is nailed down, then we're nice and sexy. So then you should be at this point here, good to go. Then I would encourage you at that point then to go ahead and do the main face first, because you're going to have removable top skin, you're going to have removable bottom, and then these side skins are shy. They're going to lose, the seam's going to be on the side. So at that point, shoot all your studs and then go ahead and put and close up this guy and go ahead and put your face on. And then once the front face is on, then you can permanently attach the side skins, because then you can butt this up against the face. And then what that'll do is create a pocket for the top skin, the removable top skin, right? That's all one piece. And then the top skin will be long and create a pocket in the back for the removable back skin. So that's how it'll all go together. So you have permanent side skins here that will sort of mate everything together. And that way they can bondo up the side seam and make it look like, at least from the front and the side, it's all one piece and it gets rid of that seam. And then you'll just have removable back. You'll have removable top in order to drop all your stuff in. And then you'll have 2 removable bottoms for access to the bottom. It'll be a little pain in the butt. Go ahead and do like we do. Chop these out once you're done. Make sure it's nice and safe. Don't set anyone for the okie doke. Get it all clean, and that way you'll have nice big openings. So I did do tests. That's kind of why I have them broken up kind of funny. But if you take these in, you can drop them in from the top, kind of rotate them and turn them. You should be able to get all of this in there. And even this guy here is broken up in that way to try to get that in there for you. So, and then like I say, this guy should fit. You got that one piece there. So it'll be a little bit of a challenge. It's only 36. You should be able to reach your hand in from both sides, but it's always fun trying to do this one big piece. So, but anyway, and then you got your Mjolnirs. Those are all good. For some reason, yeah, I mean, it's 3x3 by 3/16. So don't get thrown. It's not 4x4. So I guess they're doing different maths these days. For install, you'll have your choice of bringing in power from the bottom. I have it set to come in from the front, but if you have to, I also have it on the other side, on the back side. But you should bring it up to the front because you don't really have any access inside this big box. I didn't want to have screws all over this thing and removable panels all over. So really the only way in is to fish wire up to get to the first door here. And then this door corresponds to being able to reach in from the bottom you know, down here. So you should be able to reach your hand in and you can get to this door, and then this will allow power to come up through to at least get to here. But if you do a straight shot, you should be able to just hit from here, do a straight shot. And then if you look in from the backside, you have these openings here that line up. So you should be able to look straight through from the backside. Once you take this off, you'll have access. So, and I gave you 3 lift points. I would encourage you to lift it with 2 straps at an angle rather than the single strap in the middle. I know you guys like to do that, but it's up to you. So, but there's your lift point access. You'll have that crossbar, and then that'll give us good strength with these 1/4 inchers going to the main body there. So I think that's all good. And like I said, once you guys go to put this together, you'll be putting the white in from the front to the bottom, and you'll use a little 90 to get to these here. And then you can, like I said, you'll be able to access all these from the back side. That's how you'll be attaching the white. And then run your power over, and you should be good to go. So like I say, nothing too crazy. Just making sure that you do everything in an order, that you don't get trapped out. So, but I think that should do it for you guys. So as usual, if you have any questions, hit me up.
Check the technique. Check the technique. See if you can follow it.